Just kind of thoughts on becoming the team's all-time three-point leader.
It's great, especially because getting it this early for me. Started off my rookie year pretty roughly, and being able to get in my fifth year is a big testament to just the work as well as my teammates finding me, and Pelicans give me the opportunity.
Passing a former teammate of yours as well. Just what did CJ kind of mean to you when you were here?
He meant a lot. He was a big veteran presence for me. He taught me a lot on and off the court, and just watching him and how he conducted himself was very instrumental in me, growing as a player and as a man. So, I'm thankful for him. He was one of the first people that texted me. So, it meant a lot.
What has this? Was that when did this become a goal for you in terms of and being a franchise leader or anything like that? Especially kind of mentioning how you said how things started your rookie year.
I looked at it when I first got to the team, obviously, like wanted to know what it was. So that was one thing, but I didn't really think about it until, my dad told me I was pretty close to it. So, or when I passed Drew, that's probably when I was like, oh wow, like I'm pretty close. So I might as well get it at some point. So yeah.
Kind of feels right that your dad would be the one who mentions it to you. Feels like he'd be checking.
Yeah, he's a stat guy, really big stat guy. So he definitely knows.
Kind of looking back at tonight, though, just what do you think kind of was the issue in the first half and just kind of whole game with the turnovers?
We just got sped up, and I just got to make better decisions a lot of times, and just know where we need to be, and trust that our people are there.
Trey, if you were able to talk to your rookie self and tell him by year 5 that you would be the all-time franchise leader in three-pointers, do you think he'd believe you?
He wouldn't think it's crazy. I remember I always told, one of our previous front office people, I told him that, even through the times where I wasn't playing, all this other stuff, like I knew I was going to be good in this league. I didn't know when. I didn't know how soon it was going to be, but I knew I was going to be a really good player. And so, I wouldn't be super surprised, but I would definitely be, happy about that.
For you, is it kind of like vindicating as you transferred colleges, climbed up the competition, and kind of like maybe help fuel the chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, I would say I've always had like a chip on my shoulder just being under-recruited. Well, I wouldn't even say under-recruited, just, being a late bloomer and, just realizing that, I got to be appreciative of whatever role I'm in. And, I just can't take anything for granted. I got to work really hard. I got to work harder than a lot of other people because, I wasn't, blessed athletically growing up. I'm a lot better athlete now, but wasn't blessed athletically. Wasn't super tall growing up, so I had to work really hard first. And then, once I became a better athlete, got taller, it all just fell into place.
Does this maybe fuel the confidence that you have? And where did that confidence come to just be this, volume three-point shooter?
A lot of it was my work. A lot of it was my parents. They were always really, they were really big on being confident in yourself. And, my trainers, biggest thing was just putting in work and trusting my work.
You had a strong game tonight, but Borrego spoke after the game and kind of credited the Heat's defense for, playing the gaps and really crowding things and giving them partial credit for, you guys ending up with, I think it was 26 turnovers. You said that you guys got sped up. Do you think, the Heat getting in the gaps kind of had anything to do with that? What was your assessment of just the way that ended up there?
Yeah, they're a good defensive team. I feel like they, probably Coach Spo probably got on them about the first half because I felt like we scored a lot of points and they turned up their intensity. And, we just had to match that and figure out ways to, answer that.
And for you right now, this being your 5th season leading up to the deadline, how do you maybe push out the noise that maybe you see your name or hear your name in those rumors?
Just control what I can control. Only thing I can control is my effort, energy, and my play out there. Whatever happens, and, just got to live with the results.